Hi guys, Knife Detector here, and I'm going to try and keep this one under 5 minutes, so let's see how that goes. What we have here is a vintage, and when I say vintage, I have a feeling my best guess would be around 1940s or so, Bartender's knife. I'm also going to guess that this knife was made in Solingen, Germany. Solingen steel is my best guess because this is an unmarked knife. There's no maker's mark on this knife. How did I get it? Well, I found it on eBay. Sometimes I'll enter a search on eBay that's called No Maker's Mark Knife. And the reason I do that is because by looking at the knife and the way it's made, a lot of times I can tell who the maker is. So I know that for this particular style, Roby Klaus makes this style a lot, right? But I can't see any indicators marks anywhere in here. So although I'm pretty positive that this is a German-made knife, I don't have any confirmation because of any of there's no maker's mark present. And there's a few other, there's a lot of actually German knife makers that make this style of knife. And I tried my darndest to see if I could see anything in there, but I couldn't. But in any case, let's talk about the knife. This is what I believe most people call a bartender's knife because it has this corkscrew back here. I believe it's with carbon steel, if I'm not mistaken. It might be stainless, but as you can see, there is some corrosion and some pitting, so that leads me to believe that it's probably carbon. The pitting is like micro pitting. It's really tiny. You really kind of have to get in there. You can't really, if you move your nail over it, you can't really feel it. It's more of a corrosion that's on it. And I'm not sure what kind of wood it is with this particular wood that's on it. But take a look at the pins used on this knife. Those pins don't look like they're perfect circles. Like when they were mushroomed and hammered in, like somebody did it by hand. See that one? That one didn't come out all the way through. Or maybe when they were hitting it and peening it, it went a little too far in is what more than likely happened. And then there's a crack right here. Now, this crack doesn't really affect the knife at all. The handle is solid. But as you can see here, the pin, again, these pins look like they were handmade. The pins themselves look handmade. That's what really leads me to believe that this was made before the 1940s. It might even be earlier than that. But let's take a look at the knife. So you got two blades. You have this smaller pin blade right here, which by the way has the snap of like a guillotine. Let me open this one. This thing, you don't want to get your finger in the way. It just is really hard to open it and close it. That spring is tight. I get the feeling that one was not used very much at all. Very strong. Now this one got a lot of use. It's got a reasonable snap to it. It's got a bit of a half stop, but not much because it's had a lot of use. And it still snaps closed. Really a testament to the workmanship of this knife right here. Those of you guys that like to look at the centering, see that? It's not centered. It's not all the way to one side either. See that? So this is a handmade knife. I can tell that. So I wanted to show this to you guys. I'm trying to keep this video under 5 minutes. Now, this is an impulse buy for me as far as eBay is concerned. Sometimes I buy things on impulse, as I'm sure you guys do too. I'm thinking to myself that, I'm not particularly drawn to this knife. So just like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I have like a pool of knives, a drawer of knives that I tend to buy, and then I'm going to sell it back. And then I get something else that I want to look at. And that way I just use the same money over and over and over again, and I don't really spend a lot from our family income. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sell this back to eBay. I've looked at it. I have cleaned it. I've had it in my pocket a few times, and I've decided this one's not for me. So I'm going to go ahead and sell this one back. I'm only going to put it at what I paid for it plus shipping. So this is going to go for about $14 plus shipping is what I'm going to put this at. And let's see if somebody bites. So I'm going to put this, by the time you see this, it probably will have already been on eBay because I do my videos ahead of time. All right, guys. Take care. I hope you guys are doing well. Keep your knives sharp. Keep your wits even sharper.